Hi guys, welcome to another lesson. Today we're going to talk about something widely known in the trading industry called AMD, which as you can see stands for accumulation, manipulation and distribution. And when I talk about this, it is not in the same format of accumulating to buy and distributing to sell. This is more to do with understanding why price accumulates in certain ways, where it manipulates, and distribution in terms of taking us towards our target. And to put it as simply as possible, I'm going to draw it for you. Okay, so when you are moving around sideways, we call this here consolidation. Okay, what we end up getting in here is people placing orders. This is what it is. So up here, you're going to be seeing buy stops. Okay, so people are going to be putting buy stops down here. And then down here, you're going to be seeing sell stops. Can I put that at the bottom? Yes, I can. So what that is, that sits right there, is your consolidation. Okay, cool. So once you see consolidation, this entire thing here is essentially where prices accumulate and doing its thing, because it's basically building up orders right here. Now, when you get manipulation, you usually get it at the open of a session. So at the open of a London session, you're going to get price going in towards typically a fake rally or manipulating a certain way. And then when New York session opens, once again, you're going to get price manipulation, price moving in a certain way. So if I just draw that out, what you'll end up seeing is a new phase. So a new session has opened and you end up getting manipulation. So let me just change the color of that. So this phase here is your manipulation. And what that is price expanding down and gearing up for the actual true move it wants to do. I'm going to draw this in more detail for you because there's better ways to explain it when you kind of understand it. But essentially this here is the manipulation move. So manipulation. And you can call this the fake rally if you want. So once you see that manipulation, you know it's happening, you know why it's happening. What you end up getting is price typically will start reversing and moving in its intended direction. And this is the distribution side of it. So that is when you end up pushing price in another way. So you can see here price has given it the expansion, if you like. So this is what happens, okay? We accumulate, we manipulate, we distribute. So price pushes higher. And like I said, this is not to be confused with accumulating to buy and distributing to sell. This is AMD. So we're looking for accumulation of orders. We're looking for manipulation to take those orders in the form of a fake rally, which, like I said, typically comes at the open of certain sessions, London and New York session. And then price will expand to the upside or downside, whether you're bullish or bearish, and take it in its intended direction. And either or, both of these areas are taken out of the markets. So what I'm going to do for you guys now is just draw this out again, but incorporate a few different things to make life a little bit easier so you can kind of understand where you can be looking for this thing. So I'm just drawing this line out here. Now this here is essentially going to be the liquidity draw. So from a higher time frame. So this is our target for the day. Let's say we're bullish for the day and we know that we are targeting this liquidity to the upside. The way we look to get into the market is very simple. It's just like this. So we can see price is expanding to the upside here. So we know this is where we want to see price move. Now, what we end up seeing is price starts its consolidation phase. And I'm just going to draw that in a different color. So this here is the consolidation phase. Now, what you then need to be looking for is, after that consolidation phase, you want to see the rally to the downside. And that is exactly what I just showed you from the upside there. So we want to be waiting for that fake rally, so the manipulation to the downside. And then we are looking to get in on the markets with our expansion to take price to our area right here. And that is essentially what we're looking to do and how we're looking to get in on the market. Now, the question you would ask yourself is, okay, we can see the consolidation. We've been able to spot that, whether that be in the form of Asian session highs, lows, London session highs, lows, whatever. We can see that. We can see the fake rally to the downside, but why is it going to turn around here, and how do we know it's going to reverse here and things like that? And that's why we can't be solely reliant on this rally just never ending. We have to understand that this will stop at some point, but we have to be aware of what's going on with the market. So we've got the overall draw to the upside here. What we are looking for is, we need to be looking to the left. On our time frames, we need to be looking at what is actually going on inside this area right here. Now, inside this area here is where we want to be looking for your imbalances, your order blocks, so your institutional candles, your FU candles, whatever, breaker blocks, because we now know what they are. So any of those areas in there, that's what we want to be looking for. And we want price to fake rally down to that side, taking this liquidity out of the market, manipulating, reversing, and then taking price upon this area here to the upside. I'm going to change that color there. So when that happens, okay, we can obviously anticipate getting into the market. Now, you can apply the power of 3 method to this, which we learned about in lesson 2. You can apply the power of 3 method to this in this particular way. So we've spoken about the opening of candles before. We're going to use 5 a.m. midnight New York time, 5 a.m. UK time candle, and we're just going to highlight that area in here. So we now know this here is 5 a.m. UK time. So once we have this 5 a.m. UK time, we can obviously see price is dropping down into this area here and pushing to the upside. Now, if you're a New York session trader, and you can see that London session has been, so if you're in the London session, you can get involved here. Maybe this here is London session. So we can see the rally, we can get in on the manipulation there. So this could be London open, 8 a.m. So we can see that there we've got the London open. We can see prices obviously drawing down and then pushing high. Now let's say you're bullish for today, you're looking for New York session. Now if we draw New York session out just about here, for example, New York session is 1:30 UK time, 8:30 for New York. So 1:30, excuse me, New York open, 1:30 p.m. UK time, which is 8:30 a.m. New York. And I would say, guys, if it's worth just learning time differences for where you are. I am talking in UK time because that's where I'm from. It's quite simple. That's the only reason I'm doing it. But you want to be looking for that. Now, what you end up getting, obviously, we can see here, as long as you haven't hit your draw and liquidity here, all you're doing is you're doing exactly the same thing. The thing to remember, guys, is price is fractal, meaning this works on every single time frame, every single pair, every single asset, and it's all about time and price. So what we're looking to identify is on a smaller time frame or another time frame, you can identify the exact same thing happening. We can see that when we get into here, we want price to accumulate, and then we want price to manipulate, and then we want price to start reversing taken us to that area right there. So we want to be, you know, that's kind of like what we want to see happen from a small time frame point of view. And again, we're looking to our left in this expansion here for order blocks, imbalances, breaker blocks, and the target is taking the draw on liquidity. So you're always looking, wherever you are, whatever time you're trading, you're always looking for accumulation. You're always looking for that expansion, and then you're always looking for the reversal to your upside target. This is obviously a bullish example. A bearish example would be the complete opposite. So hopefully this has given you a bit more of an insight into AMD. Like I said, it's not to be confused with accumulation to buy, distribute, and to sell and things like that, but it is to be confirmed as we're looking for consolidation in the market. We're looking for a liquidity draw via manipulation. Then we're looking for a reversal. We're looking for that to be drawn from a liquidity grab from a higher time frame, so old high, fair value gap, imbalance, whatever you want to call it, an order block or anything like that. And we're looking to our left to see if there's any of those as well in there that we can take advantage of. As I said, we can do this in London, we can do this in New York. You can do it in Asian session as well. It just depends on the pair. And I am going to go into detail on London session, New York session, and things like that to help you guys out. So yeah, that pretty much sums up this lesson, guys. If you need anything, let me know. And yeah, I will see you on the next one, guys.